Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, live from Harlem in New York City. Guess what? This is the Ramble, and I'm Alex. So big deal. There she is, ladies and gentlemen, dressed in purple. Is that your favorite color?
It's my favorite color this season. And I like it very much. It's been co-opted, though, by people that don't want to appear red or blue, like on the news channels.
Uh-huh.
So they go with lavender. But yes, I do like that.
Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Anyway.
What about yourself?
What I'm wearing, gray. Well, actually, I'm wearing my PT shirt, my physical therapy place.
Yeah, when you have designated, I have a designated walking shirt. That's why walking is been the best thing to come out of this cancer, is that I walk now about an hour a day.
I used to walk a lot, but I can't. I can barely walk a block now without having to stop and rest for a second.
Well, that's what I did it to build up my stamina. Started with like 2 blocks and then just built it up. Yeah. I mean, but at first it was a big deal to go 2 blocks.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Yeah. I guess I just don't go out much.
Yeah. Well, and here it's a lot different. You know, there are so many like colorful vistas to follow and things like that. But the beaches.
Well, I don't go out for 2 reasons. Number one, I don't want to go out. And secondly, once I go out there, there's nothing. It's New York City. I've seen the whole neighborhood.
Exactly.
It's not like, let's go down the nature path, Marjorie. Where?
Let's try some habit trails.
Malcolm X Boulevard? What?
No, but that's true. Urban walking is a whole different ballgame.
I'm pissed with my neighborhood. I live in Harlem. I'm pissed with my neighborhood because all the streets are named after black people. There are no streets that are named after white people. There's Frederick Douglass Boulevard. I'm on Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. Down the street is Malcolm X Boulevard.
What about Maya Angelou? I don't like her. She's a snob.
No Maya Angelou street. I don't think so. I haven't looked.
Yeah, everybody reveres her. And I do like that Good Morning poem that she wrote for an inauguration.
Don't you like Why the Caged Bird Sings?
No, I just don't. I find her aloof and condescending.
I found her pretentious.
Yes, maybe that's
now,
a better
I'm not being racist, folks. I'm being, what's the word? I'm looking for qualifications for the job. Yeah. And she was pretentious. I mean,
I found her pretentious.
And every time she was interviewed, she was very pretentious.
Yes, exactly. And that's because I think people had that approach to her for so long. She cultivated a personality.
But now everybody will say I hate black people. Okay.
No, that's just
I'm a racist because I don't like Maya Angelou or her damn poetry.
Yeah, I don't think about her much. But I
know Oprah and I would be in disagreement, but what the hell's? Yeah. I find Oprah pretentious.
Yeah. I wonder, when Oprah wakes up in the morning, has she been a rich, like amazingly rich person so long that she forgot what it's like to be that little girl in Alabama?
What it's like to wake up without somebody opening your eyes for you?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and so you would wonder if your empathy would dwindle. That would be my concern. That that wealth alone is not evil, but the privileges that wealth.
Well, you get used to privilege. I mean, I even had it to a certain minor extent in San Francisco, where I'd go to a restaurant and I'd have dinner, and then the owner of the place would come up and say, "Very good to have you here, Mr. Bennett," and the meal's on us.
Yeah, I witnessed that with you.
And I would have to tell the owner that, quite frankly, I said, I can afford to buy this meal. okay?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who can't. So why don't you save that free meal for somebody who can't afford it?
Ben, that's so cool.
I mean, that's what I would always say. But if they kept insisting, there's a point at which I would say, okay, because I didn't want to be insulting.
Yes,
See, so you have that problem too, you know.
Yeah, it's an instance by instance approach. I would think.
Yeah. But I mean, I didn't like getting the free meal. I just felt just because of who I was.
Yeah,
you know.
well, sometimes you wonder if they're buying your affection, like trying to get a good mention on
A good mention or something like that. I just didn't want to owe anybody anything.
Yeah, that's a good way to be.
But if they insisted and they insist, oh no, I insist. I finally, I'd say okay, but you understand what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh yeah.
You know that you're only giving me a free meal because of who I am, and not because you like me a lot and you want me to have a free meal, or I look like I'm starving and I could stand a free meal. So I said,
No, I saw that in action. When I would be with you at certain things.
Yeah. Also, you know what else I got paranoid about?
What?
Women who would come on to me.
I wondered if that ever bothered you.
Yeah.
If you could,
Not that I didn't take advantage of it.
No, I knew that too.
But women who would come on to me because of who I was.
Yeah. Well, you know what's really annoying and very telling at a party? When you've been introduced to people and you're all circling around and they're kind of looking past you to see who's cooler that just entered the place. And then about 10 minutes later or 20 minutes later, they come circling back and want to be your best friend. That's when they found out that you're on the radio.
Yeah.
That in the interim, they found out.
Yeah.
And now they're your buddy and you're so interesting. Yeah.
But I was always very suspicious of that,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I bet.
I think I dropped one girlfriend who I found out had told people, guess who I'm going out with?
Yeah. It's demeaning.
Well, no, I don't want to feel that that's the reason they want me. I want to feel the reason they want me is for my extraordinarily large penis.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted them to like me for that.
Yes. You wanted their priorities.
By the way, Lori, not a drop of silicone, okay?
No.
Or saline. No, but anyway, the point was I wanted them to like me for me.
Yes.
And not because of who I was, and not that I wouldn't take advantage of it if they were that stupid, but on the other hand, I was suspicious of them. I never trusted them.
That's it, see? Yeah, it's kind of a litmus test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and then occasionally there'd be somebody who come along who I thought was doing it because of who I was on the radio or whatever, but it wasn't the reason they wanted to be with me at all. And we I was very open to them and thought good of them and was not suspicious of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I only dated one guy I met through the radio station.
Really?
And we dated for about a year, but
we had 50 people coming in every morning. I thought you must have had more than one come on to you.
I had some come on to me, but one
must have been those small breasts. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I had the operation. But the
By the way, let me ask you this: when you had the breast enhancement, do you find that it doubled the amount of guys that would come on to you?
Oh yeah. It definitely
maybe
boosted
more
it
than
up.
double. More than double.
Yeah, they did. Well, I went from a 32A to a 34C, and those were perfect. They were perfect.
Yeah. But you got kind of used to that. So when a guy was talking to you and looking at you in the face, you go, "Hey, my tits are down here."
Yeah. Well, and Jerry Springer, he made a comment about my boobs once. The air went on. We were taking a picture, and somebody must have turned the air conditioner on because my nipples just popped out.
Yeah.
And he goes, I thought it suddenly got cooler in here. And looked at
I liked him.
He was pretty good. Is he dead now?
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, he died.
Thought so.
Yeah, he died.
But he was pretty cool.
I liked him. He was a good guy.
He was unpretentious. He was like an example of a celebrity that's unpretentious.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
And
Maya Angelou
I,
and Karen.
I remember though that he got a gig at what was then what was the name of it? Air America, which was a
Oh,
left wing
yeah.
network that they tried to start. It was terrible. And people said to me, Jerry Springer? I mean, really, Jerry Springer? And I said, he's the most liberal person I know.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he was like next to being a commie, for crying out loud. He was really, and they kept going, like, oh, gee, really? I said, listen to him sometime. And of course, when he went on there and they listened to him, he was very much a lefty.
Yeah, I always liked him too. He just seemed unpretentious. You know who else did? This was a side-by-side example. When we were in New York, we had the same week, maybe even the same day, we had Maury Povich on, and Regis Philbin and Dan Rather.
Did we have Philbin on?
We did.
Did we really? See, I don't remember it.
Yeah, that was all in the same week. Maybe like I say, maybe the same day. But anyway, we had, bagels and the spread you always have for guests in the green room. And Philbin and Maury Povich did their own bagel, and but Dan Rather expected his to be prepared for him. Yeah, he was pretentious.
Really? I didn't know that. You never told me that about him.
Yeah, but Maury was great. He was. He's got to work. She started CBS News that day, so he got to walk his wife to work. He said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. That. But I do remember we also had him on, I think, in San Francisco earlier than that.
Probably.
Yeah, and that I always liked him because he wasn't pretentious. He was almost self-deprecating.
Yes, yeah. That's why I read Connie Chung's book, and it wasn't that great. It was very boilerplate. But I would like to read his because he has a better sense of humor about life.
Well, he had this story he told about when he was getting the job over at
Current Affair, was it?
I can't remember. I can't remember what the station was exactly. The channel was. He had a Fox operated thing, a Rupert Murdoch company. Mm-hmm. And in order to get the job, he had to meet with Rupert Murdoch.
Which would be fun.
Yeah, and he tells the story about how he's getting ready, and he doesn't know what do I say to him? Hello, Mr. Murdoch, whatever. And he said he walked in, put his hand out, shook his hand, and said, "Good to meet you, Rupert."
And that was good.
And it was good. He said, but then I walked away from that meeting going, I just got to call him Rupert.
The Roopster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked him a lot. There were interesting people the people that I liked that we had on were people that surprised you. Like,
surprised me. You got to remember them when they came in. Was Vanna White and what's his name?
Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak.
That was when you first got there at the old station,
mm-hmm.
South of Market in the Dive. Yeah, but they were wonderful. They had such great chemistry then, and she was probably 24 at the time. It was right before they went nighttime. Yeah. And she was just gorgeous. It was 7 o'clock in the morning.
She was gorgeous, and he was really funny.
Yes. Yeah, and really down to earth. Let's talk about self-deprecating.
Yeah, very self-deprecating, very ribald in his humor.
Ribald, that's a fun word.
Then he got a show doing a nighttime show at CBS. This was before Letterman had the slot.
Yeah.
And he had it for about 2 years, I think, maybe 3.
And it didn't do well.
It didn't do well. And it surprised me because I remembered the Pat Sajak, who was in our studio, and I said if he was just being that way,
it would work.
He'd be a star. He'd be a big hit, and he never did it. He was just too good. He was just trying to be too nice to everybody.
Yeah, he must have been getting notes, from the network. You got
exactly. And I said to myself, he would have survived if he had just had that edge.
Yep. I agree.
Because that's what Letterman brought to the network later on, and he was, of course, a success. You know.
Yeah. And I like the way he would do that with certain asides on the wheel, but you'd have to see, you'd have to listen closely.
Yeah.
His strength was in his asides.
Yeah.
I have wanted all my life to be on a wheel.
Did you really?
Yeah, but I wanted to be on with Pat and Dana. I don't think Ryan Seacrest, although
I wouldn't want. I don't even watch it with Ryan Seacrest.
I don't anymore. I didn't realize I'd stopped, but he's a good dude. Over at Star 101 when I started working with Don Blue, that station had brought Ryan Seacrest and his partner Renee up from Los Angeles. In the meantime, they did okay, I guess, but they fired Ryan, and then they fired Renee, and I replaced Renee. So I was, 6 degrees of separation of Ryan Seacrest. But we had him on the air on a telephone interview, and he said he was doing this pilot. He didn't expect anything to come of it, and it was Idol, wasn't it? Idol,
American Idol. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it became an explosion. He's somebody that's got a good business head or a good business.
Oh yeah, But I'm sick of seeing him on TV.
And you know what I'm tired of, like Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper together on New Year's Eve. It's just become this fawning game.
I can't stand Andy Cohen.
I can't at all. And even though he's from St. Louis, I'm prone to give him a break.
We're dissing all these people, folks, who have a successful career, so don't mind it if we're putting them down. Okay, all right, okay.
Carson Daly is my one that grinds me into the dust.
Well, wait a minute. You remember Carson, don't you?
He used to fill in for me when I filled in for you. That's Carson Daly. And then we got to the point where they didn't do it that way. But
did he ever? I know that I used to have Carson on my show every other morning because he was still there finishing up his shift.
Yes.
And so I would just have him come over, and I'd use him for the first hour to hang out, and talk to. But when you went on vacation, did I use him as my?
I think you may have, because then when I came back, he was my standard sub, and he was. You could just see he was very unpretentious, very self-deprecating, but you could. I don't know. With him, it wasn't ambition. You just knew he was going to go far because he had that personal charisma. Really down to earth.
I don't know what he's got now. He's a big fat blob.
Oh, he's a little chunkier, but we all get there. But I remember once after, anyway, Carson Daly, he is my...
but Carson used to do my show every other morning or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When I'd say, hey, Carson, before you leave, come on in.
Yeah, he was a good dude, and then I should have been happy for him when he went to MTV. See, MTV at the time, they auditioned all of us that were on the air. But the women, there were all women making the decisions for who would make the cut. And they chose all men. Steve Masters, who else? Carson. And then someone else. Women were in charge, and they were looking for dudes. Basically.
But you know who was on the first day MTV was on? Me.
Wow! What did you do?
This is a strange story. There's a group named Video West. I don't know if you remember Video West.
I do remember Video West.
And they was right across the street from the radio station. And they called me up and they said, we're looking for somebody to do the voice for this newscast that they're doing on this new thing called MTV, and we'd like you to come in and kind of do a sample of what the newscast would be like. And so I was the reporter from L.A. was what I was, and so and then I'd read the script. Okay, so now time has passed. There's no MTV yet. Then it goes on, I guess, somewhere else in the country. I have no idea. What was the deal? Oh, yeah, they ran it in San Jose.
Okay.
When it first went on.
Yeah,
and what
MTV
they did is they had this gathering where they took all the press people and brought them down to San Jose, and then they put them in this room and they said, let's show you this video, right? And I'm standing next to some other reporter, and the video comes on, and it says, and now MTV News, and here from L.A. is Alex Bennett. And everybody turns around and looks at me. And the guy next to me said, "Are you working for MTV?" And I said, "I guess I am now." And I did it for the first year that they were on.
You're kidding.
Yes, I did these reports.
Oh, well, because I watched, see, in college is when it came on, but you could only get it real spotty areas. Like you could get it in Taylorville, Illinois, but you couldn't get it in a college.
Well, it was
town
whoever
like
decided, whatever cable system decided to pick it up.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and in our case, it was down in San Jose. By the time they finally came into San Francisco, I wasn't on anymore. They weren't doing the newscast that way any longer.
Yeah, they brought Kurt Lorber in.
Yeah, but I would go in. I would go into the studios across the street every couple of weeks and do about 10 of these things. The audio for them, and then they would run them. You know, so I would. And the first day, I have a copy of it. The first day that MTV was on,
that's fun.
I was on MTV.
Well, because that's what I would like about living in New York, about working, radio in New York, is because you could get so much done in a relatively small space.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go across the street. There was, these media ghettos where you could get a lot done.
Well, I would when I was working here in New York, the first time I would continually go in and audition for commercials.
Yeah.
But I didn't get any, really, because there were other people there who were better than I was.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's some people who did it full time.
I'd be sitting there and they give me the pages, I got to go in and read to do the audition. And I'm thinking to myself, have you ever done this? Have you ever done that? And I'm thinking, and all of a sudden, a guy walks in and they say, "And your name is?" And he goes, "Orson Welles." And I go, I just throw the pages down and leave. I'm not getting the job. He is.
Right. Well, you never knew. I mean, you never knew. That's why you went to every audition. You just never knew.
They auditioned me. Excuse me. I've had this cough myself. Chanel number 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I did the Chanel number 5 commercial, and eventually they gave it to Catherine Deneuve. And I want to know what day they woke up and went, Alex or Catherine Deneuve? I mean, come on.
Better Hooters. That's why I had the operation.
Yeah. So anyway, but
now 2 of the good ones I had a national TV Boston Market, and that paid off like a frickin' slot machine.
Yeah, you did Boston Market, so I remember that.
And then, but the other real good gig, the regular gigs are what you wanted. And I was the voice of Macy's fragrance for the West Coast region.
Yeah.
And man, we did, so Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, we sold a shitload of CK1 and Lagerfeld, and it was great.
Well, I went in at, you get the sides, get the script, and you're looking at it, and I go into the studio, and I sit down, and I say, "Okay, Mr. Bennett, anytime you're ready." And I go, "Okay, I'm ready." And I start reading, and it goes, I'll use your name, what the hell. Lori knows a lot about skinny knits, but what she doesn't know is she has ho-hum mouth. And when I hit ho-hum mouth, I started breaking up laughing hysterically.
Because it was for probably scope
and they
or
go,
something.
"You having a problem, Mr. Bennett?" I went, "No, let's try it again. Lori knows a lot about skinny knits, but what she doesn't know is she has ho-hum mouth." Then I broke up again, and they said, "Are you having trouble with this copy?" I said, "Absolutely. It's the biggest piece of shit I've ever read." And they said,
Whoa.
"Next."
No callback for you.
Yeah. I was I couldn't get through it. Every time I'd hit ho-hum mouth, I went, "Who wrote this crap?"
Well, I read a lot of it in name copy, and some that I thought was really good. And it was always funny when you would read for something and then hear it in 3 days on the air with somebody else.
Oh, yeah, always when it was somebody else, and you went, "How they go from me to them? How they
I
go from
know.
me to Catherine Deneuve? What happened here?
Exactly. But
Yeah.
I really like the voiceover, doing the voiceover work. And there was a guy named Joe Paulino that had a lock on it. He did it full time. And he did, I think, if you do voices and things like Tom Kenny, our
Yeah.
pal Tom Kenny, he is the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah.
And he said, it's because I can make the sounds of barnyard animals that my family doesn't live in a bus, which I thought was hilarious.
Hey, we've run out of time.
Well, it was a blast.
What
As
a trip
usual.
down memory lane this was about jobs we didn't get. I
Yeah.
never got many voiceovers. Never.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was always crazy.
I used to get documentaries, and those I found boring to do because it takes hours and hours and hours of reading the stuff that's happening to other people. You know.
Yeah. But I would love to do audiobooks. Man, I would love to do that. But now they've got every celebrity reading their own.
Yeah, right.
So, but
Anyway, hey, listen, I thank you so much, Miss Thompson.
My pleasure always.
And let's do it again next week.
All righty.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.
Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Oh, yes. Hello there. How are you? What's happening? What's new? It's Alex, and it's, what day is this? This is Wednesday, and we only have one person waiting to talk to us. Boy, this is getting depressing. This is getting overwhelming, folks. I don't know. But anyway, let me see here. Why don't I just bring him in? What the hell? I'll bring in one person here, and then we'll call it a big show. Hello, Charlie Wallace. Now Charlie's got a... Hey, there you go. Okay. Hi, Charlie. Let me see here. Let me do that. Okay. And there's Charlie over there. There we go.
Yeah.
I can't get this straight. And let's see. Here's anybody else calling? No, nobody else is calling. It's just you and me, Charlie.
Oh, wow.
So let's bore them all with scientific information. How's that?
That sounds good.
Oh, wait a minute. Here comes Bree. He's going to be eating. You know? Oh, well, let's see here. Is this Bree, really? Is it or is it not? Yep, it is Bree. Okay. And he's not eating. He's actually maybe working or something. Are you working?
Yeah, I'm working.
Yeah. Okay. How you doing out there in Malaysia?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I feel a cold coming on. I'm not sure. I had a bunch of aches and pains, and then I got the lymph node thing. So we'll see.
You know, I haven't had a cold in I don't know how long. And I don't know if it's because I had the COVID or, shot, or if it's just, I don't know. I haven't gotten colds lately. I try to think of the last time I had a cold. Maybe it was a year ago, and it wasn't much of a cold.
Well, you're lucky.
How about you, Charlie? Had colds lately?
I went 10 years without one, but I've had one for the last month. And so my doctor finally put me on antibiotics to try and get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that what's interesting, and I always like to bring this up, is that I found that when we were wearing masks all the time, we didn't get them all that. We didn't get colds that much, you know?
Nope.
And nobody seemed to learn from that. You know, they just went, I don't want to wear masks anymore. Okay, well, we can get a cold or give a cold to somebody else. You know,
And Alex, the thing I don't understand is so many people still cough and sneeze in public. And like, I look over and I'm like, what, did you not learn anything? Like or on a public bus or something? It's like, this is how all this stuff gets going. You know, I would never even consider sneezing in a public place. Like, I wouldn't do it. I'd cover it up. I'll stop it. But there are people, they just sneeze and they cough.
Well, a lot of time, though, we do get allergies. Okay, and that's different from a cold. You're not going to give somebody an allergy or anything like that. So if you know it's an allergy, fine. But, it's just better if you wear a mask. It'd be nice if we all wore masks when we
Yep.
didn't feel well.
People still wear masks here. I do have to give credit to,
Oh,
there are a lot of
China,
people.
they wear them like crazy,
Yeah,
you know?
it
So,
is good.
yeah, so we should do something about it. Everybody
Yeah.
start wearing masks again. No, we don't want to wear masks. We're American. We're free to do anything we want to do.
Even die.
Well, no, I love how they whine about that, I don't have to wear them. I don't want them mandated because this is a free country. I can do anything I damn please. I can give anybody a cold I want to give it to, you know? It's basically, it's called good manners, isn't it? Was it something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. And
Yeah.
I just, I don't understand why, people do it. I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's, I don't go out that often, so it doesn't really matter whether I wear a mask.
That
or
could be the
not.
thing. Like I'm always constantly going out. I use public transportation. I'm often in rooms with 50 or 60 people every week. So I'm definitely exposed.
Has everybody gotten the shot there for the COVID?
I haven't done that in 2 years. So
Really? I get it every year that it's available. I just got a thing from my CVS that the newest one is available. So we're going to get out, or a couple of months.
Yeah, I got to get mine. It's been 6 months.
yeah, I haven't even really heard about it.
I
one
mean,
really mentions it.
yeah, I know it isn't as bad a deal as it used to be, but nevertheless, let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't understand. They go, all of a sudden they go, why did I get bird flu? Why are people dying from bird flu? Well, I'm sorry. Then you'll get a vaccination if there is. Was there one for bird flu?
Not that I knew of.
Are we working on one?
We were until
Probably.
Trump cut funding.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, Trump figures that if he's the only one alive in the United States, there'll be nobody out to get him. So he'll do that. But I don't, I just don't understand people. I mean, I don't wear a mask a lot, but I will wear it when I go out. If I'm going out somewhere
Yeah.
where I know that there are some people that might have, what do you call it?
It might be ill.
You might be ill. That it's a good protection for you,
Yeah.
and it's a good protection for them. In fact,
I always carry one in my pocket. I've got
Me
it
too.
available.
I used
And
to
when I
have,
take
yeah.
it,
Yeah, go ahead.
if I take an Uber, we call it Grab here, but most people would understand Uber. If the driver's wearing a mask, I'll put my mask on. Like I'll mimic them. Like if they have a mask, I'll wear it. If they don't, then I don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That way, if he's sick, he can get you sick. Yeah, and vice versa.
Well, I mean,
I missed the part you were right before I heard part of it. Bird flu. Yeah, the vaccine. I'd sent Charlie and the group a thing. The Trump administration 3 days ago or something like that canceled Moderna's study. They had a $600 million study going on to
Yep.
get the bird flu vaccine. If the bird flu vaccine changes direction, it could become like COVID, person to person. And so, yeah, they're doing all kinds of smart things there. RFK Jr.
yeah. Well, we're all he's going to kill a lot of us.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, like Joni Ernst said, we're all going to die sometime.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he. Yeah, that was really bright, wasn't it? Oh, jeez.
One of the things that they did is, I'm sure you probably have seen it in the news. The CDC under RFK's Junior's a demand that they're going to change who can get the vaccine now for COVID.
Yeah.
Little kids that are sick and people over 65 can get it automatically. Anybody in between is not going to be able to get it without a problem. And I don't know why.
Well, no, wait a minute. What they did was the CDC didn't. The CDC didn't say you couldn't get
That's right.
the vaccine, and they didn't say anything that would mean that the insurance covers wouldn't cover it.
That's right.
They just simply said we don't advise it.
That's right. Well, but when they say that we don't advise it, a lot of doctors and not really the doctors, but the medical associations will follow the CDC's guidelines. So it may be difficult to get. Nobody on the panel right now has to worry about that. But
No.
the scary thing is the two other things that they added is, okay, so little kids can't get it because most of the time if they get COVID, it's nothing more than like a cold. But if they take it home and they're living with mom and pop who are older or grandma and grandpa who are living there and they get it, they could die from it,
Also, I mean, it's not to say the kids haven't died from it.
Not too many, not compared to adults, but
not compared to adults, but the kids have died from it. Do you want your kid dying from it because you didn't give them the vaccine? And what's the harm of giving them the vaccine? Oh, yeah, they're going to become retarded.
There is no harm. And the other thing is they cut out giving pregnant women the vaccine routine.
Yeah.
This is the real big deal in the whole thing, because they know for a fact that if they give the woman a vaccine and a booster while she's pregnant, that the baby will have some immunity. And the baby is in the first couple, 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever, when it's built, it's starting to learn its immune system. If it has no protection, it could easily kill the baby. And so this is a real stupid move. RFK Jr., I heard him on Fox News the other day talk about how pregnant women don't need it. It's not for the pregnant women, it's for the babies they're carrying.
Well, to begin with, is it not my remembrance that most of the people who've been the head of the CDC have been in the medical profession somehow?
Yeah, absolutely.
And this guy is an amateur doctor.
Yep.
And every one of them, everyone he's picked has been an amateur. Yeah, we got an amateur government right now.
Well, one of my friends said I ought to contact Donald Trump and ask him if I can run the CDC since I have, 10 times more medical knowledge and I'm not a doctor than RFK Jr.
Yeah.
But I would do it. But I would hire, medical doctors to advise.
Well, then he'll have you checked out and find out that you don't like him. So.
Yeah. Oh well.
You haven't got a chance. Oh, look who's in his car. There's Brian Neary, and look who else is in the car.
Hello. So you're gonna have to deal with this this way, okay?
Okay, no, that's fine. Now, who's that in the car with you? Who's that in the car with you?
This is my friend Jessica. Say hi, Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, enough. Jeez, back to me.
What are you afraid she's going to get? You afraid she's going to get hot for one of us? I doubt it.
Yes, I'm worried. Charlie's got that mojo going right now, so. No, we just came from event downtown, so yeah. So I saw only you and Charlie and Bree. So
well, wait a minute. You said a downtown
event
downtown where?
San Jose.
Oh, San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new downtown, is it?
This is the old downtown. This is like one of those, they had, maybe in San Francisco also, but they have these old men's clubs. They still have a few of those down here. They have St. Clair, and then they have this one. So it's like an old men's club, and they have events and stuff, and yeah, so.
An old men's club? That's the one for me. Yeah.
Not all old men, but it's like, no, but they're like these these men's clubs that have been around for like a long, long time. So San Jose's had a few of these that have been around for a long time, and like the rich gentlemen around here, had big businesses. They would meet and hang out and da da da. So that's what this place is. So.
Well, when you talked about we've been downtown, in the old days, I meant Market Street to me,
Oh yeah. Oh, Market Street's really bad.
I've heard it's terrible.
Yeah.
I've heard it's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, what it used to happen in the old days, but my mother and I would get on the cable car and go from North Beach down to Market Street. And we'd travel to Union Square, and she'd shop around there and up and down Market Street. And I hear that's all deader than a doornail now.
Oh, it's not
Yeah.
I was there over the weekend, and there was a police car in front of me, and there was a homeless or crazy guy standing at the bus stop, and the officer told him to step back up on the curb on the PA. So he stepped up on the curb. The light was still red for us. The homeless guy unzipped his fly and started urinating on the police car.
Did they arrest him?
No, they just drove away. It isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Well, drive down the road, go to a car wash, urine's not going to really hurt much.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last time I was there, we were at a stoplight, and the guys were like shooting themselves up, like with drugs, like right across from us. And the guys look like they're already like they're already like in Saturn or something already, and they're still juicing it more, and really terrible.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, this is depressing me.
Yeah.
Your
let's talk about Trump more.
Your hometown. Yeah.
Marjorie and I were thinking of heading back to San Francisco, but forget it.
There's a lot of good stuff going on there.
Like
Market Street.
There aren't just people urinating on police cars?
No.
Oh, okay.
Then some of the sporting areas have revived, neighborhoods, and they're trying to get a lot of things going on. San Jose's doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Lately, they're trying to get tourists back. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that seems interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, anybody been doing anything exciting?
Nah.
Nah.
Nope, not me.
Yeah.
The police are under attack in San Francisco. I mean, 4 weeks ago, I'm walking up the street with a few friends of mine that are retired San Francisco cops, and we're going to go to a cigar bar, and some guy's doing a line of cocaine or meth off the hood of a police car. I mean,
really?
Yeah, really. I wanted to get a picture of it, but the guy finished his line before I could get my camera out.
Well, ever since marijuana got legal pretty much everywhere,
Yeah.
The new drug of choice on television dramas for doing something heavy is coke. It's like, every show's got one scene that's got somebody doing some coke.
Yeah, well, these guys can't afford coke. They got to use methamphetamine or something. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
longer lasting.
Well,
horrible for your body, but
it's what?
Longer lasting. It's horrible for your body.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Made with acetone and all kinds of volatile chemicals. And
what's that when they turn it into like something other than coke?
Crystal. Oh yeah, it's got most methamphetamine has no cocaine in it. You're thinking of rock coke. I can't think of it.
Yeah,
crack.
Yeah.
So it's got a little bit of real cocaine in it, and the rest of it is just
no. It has cocaine in it. It's just made into a crystalline substance that you then smoke in a pipe. But it's more powerful than coke, the high that you get. But it's also more dangerous, and it's cheaper for them to produce.
Absolutely.
So those were the
Just pray that you don't have a neighbor that's making it. They make it in kitchens and make it all over the place.
No.
And it's like
I'm sure it used to happen in this building. Okay.
Yeah.
But not anymore. No. In fact, this was if everyone saw this film New Jack City, this was the crack house in New Jack City. It was called the Carter.
I have the deal right over here.
Is that part of the building you're in?
That is the building I'm in.
Yeah.
They filmed it in his apartment.
Well,
Yeah.
no, they pointed to. They have a picture of a diagram of the building, and then they say, "This is where we're going to build the crack lab," and they point to the window of my building, of my apartment.
Yeah.
My apartment
Yeah.
is where they planned on making the crack lab. Good, I'm famous for that. It's funny.
Yeah.
I'd be driving. I'd get like a cab right at Costco, and somebody would drive me home. And as we pull up in front of the place, he would say, "Oh, it's the Carter," because that was the name of the building in the movie. It's really called. What is it called? I can't remember anymore.
So I have the DVD that I got for $3 on Amazon a couple weeks ago, New Jack City. I wanted to see it.
Yeah, well, when what's his name points to where they're going to build the crack lab,
Ashley.
that's where our apartment is. So if you ever
Okay,
come to
well,
see
that's
us,
good to
you know
know.
where to. Everybody knows where to come and steal stuff. Okay, all right.
Didn't you have an apartment that after you left, somebody else famous went in it?
Oh well, that
Yeah.
was my
Block or something?
that was my. I called it
Over
my.
on Houston, yeah.
Well, what do you mean? The guy who killed shot the guys
Yeah,
in the subway, Bernard Getz.
Bernard Getz.
And he moved into my apartment when we moved out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And if I had just stayed here or stayed there, that guy would be walking today.
Yeah.
But he's not because he's permanently put out of service by Bernie Getz. So, But that's my other. I often said that was the situation which kind of made it impossible for me to have anything else because all coincidence went out the window with that. So anyway. So any of you seen any good movies lately? I watched Sinners.
I did The White Lotus finally. Season 3, I finally saw that.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It's okay. It's okay.
It did better than all the others, but it wasn't as good as the others.
Yeah, yeah. There's some things I wish happened different. So, but yeah. That and then I saw the Stitch movie with Adrian.
Oh, it's Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Did she
You want to
like?
know how that was?
Well, wait a minute. First, I want to know how she liked it.
She liked it a lot. She likes it. So
Yeah,
so
she
she had a
liked-
good time. That's
Okay.
what's most important.
Now, how about you?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay. I like the aliens. They had some aliens in there. They're pretty funny.
But that was also in the original film. That was in the
guess.
animated film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But this is the one the kids today are going to know, and they I hear they love it. I hear they like it.
Yeah.
We watched today. Marjorie didn't like it. She doesn't like anything anymore. Sinners. It's a film by the guy who did, among other things, he did Black Panther, and he did Fruitvale Station, and it's a strange little film. It takes place in 1934 in the Deep South, and it includes people starting a juke club and music and all of that, and vampires.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's not your normal vampire movie. It kind of has a double-edged sword to it,
Well, I hope it had more realism than Fruitvale Station did.
Really, you didn't like that?
No, I didn't know any of the officers involved or the guy that they shot, but it was all over the news here, and I knew some of the stuff that was going on that wasn't in the news, but the movie was just horrible.
What was horrible about it? Because it got a lot of rave. It got a lot of rave reviews. What?
Oh, they didn't win an Academy Award or anything, so.
Though that doesn't mean you're bad.
Okay, well, I don't know. I just there was a lot of things that embellished in it, but they usually do that in movies to make it more interesting. I can't remember. I just didn't like the movie. You know,
Why was it
they
anti-cop?
made. I think his name was Oscar Grant, wasn't it? The guy that was killed by the police.
I don't remember the story, and I never really saw the movie.
Yeah.
They made him out. They made him out to be a bad guy, worse than not showing his hands. I mean, he was laying on the ground with his hands, and he would not produce his hands, so the police assumed he had a gun. And so you don't shoot somebody until you know the guy's got a gun and he's pointing it at you. So the officer Meserly grabbed
a BART police, and he was a BART policeman, right?
They were both.
So
Yeah, they're all BART police, and so
sorry, not San Francisco police, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, it happened in Fruitvale Station in Oakland. So
why do they have guns?
Huh?
I don't understand why BART police would have guns.
Because they're police officers.
Yeah.
Do BART police have guns?
Absolutely. One of them Meserly shot. Yeah, one of them
subway
shot
police
Oscar
in Chicago
Grant.
have guns.
Really?
So what they were trying to do was get his hands out, and the idea was that Meserly was not trained right and had his taser on his gun side of his belt, and reached for the taser, but grabbed the gun and pulled the trigger and killed the guy.
Wasn't there another situation like that?
Yeah, it was that woman, right? The woman who had the guy that in the car, and he had it open, and she shot him, and she said, "Oh, I thought that was my taser."
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember what that was. Down south somewhere. Yeah.
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 It's still murder. So Meserly got off way too easy.
Really?
Well, I mean, Oscar Grant was no great. I mean, he had a long criminal record, but he wasn't threatening the police.
Yeah, that doesn't matter whether you have a long criminal record or not.
It does matter because they're more likely versus somebody like Jeff who doesn't have any criminal record, or you or me or something like that.
But the cop didn't. But the cop didn't know that when they saw him. The cop didn't know that.
That's right. That's right. He had been on. The reason the police were in Fruitvale Station is Oscar Grant and his friends were picking on and beating people up on the car, and so Bart stopped that train in Fruitvale Station, and the Bart police boarded the train and got everybody off, and then they made some major mistakes. They should have got statements from everybody. Even though Bart had done something stupid, they still should get statements. And they released the car with all the witnesses. And goodbye, go do whatever you want. Should have never released the Bart car until they got statements.
Well, unfortunately, this is a case about which almost nobody is aware of. Bree doesn't know about it. I don't really know about it. Jeff doesn't know about it. You know.
That's huge. Huge here.
There's a huge story in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I mean the Bart cop said he reached for his taser, but instead he reached for a .40 caliber handgun. They do feel a lot alike, and he didn't pay attention to it and shot the guy in the back. Oscar Grant. Look up if you want. Just look up Fruitvale Station.
Brian, where are you driving right now? I'm seeing palm trees.
We're in Santana Row.
What's Santana Row?
Taking her out somewhere nice for dinner.
So Santana Row. So it's an area in San Jose. It used to be. I don't know if you remember those old town and country areas where they had all those little shops and stuff. Right. This was like that place, and they leveled it. I don't know, 10 or 15, 20 years ago. So it's all high-end shops here, and this whole area of San Jose is.
Where are you going to eat?
Yeah, a lot of restaurants here.
Okay, so where are you going to eat? He wants to know.
Jessica lives here, so
that's a nice name for a restaurant. Jessica lives here.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta wait for all these people to walk, and there's the police. But yeah, it's nice little area here. They have all the apartments above the, stores. Yeah. So she lives up here. So
how costly are rentals now in the Bay Area? Terrible.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These small go, come on.
You can't even get a one-bedroom anything or a studio for what you're paying. That's for sure.
Well, no, of course not. Nobody can get anything for what I'm paying. Come on.
That's right.
Nowhere in the United States can you get an apartment for the price I'm paying for mine.
In the Bay Area, you could probably rent a portable outhouse for what you're paying.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh my God!
what? Wait a minute. All we're seeing is your elbow now.
Oh, sorry.
Can I?
No. Trying to get in her gates, and people are blocking, so it's okay.
Run them over.
I know.
Yell
Tell
out
them
the
their name's
window.
Alex Bennett, and just run them over.
Is it a gated community?
Yes. Yeah, it's gated and it goes up above the shops. So yeah. This is Kylie. Okay, go ahead. Keep talking.
Yeah. I never ever lived in a gated community. You know?
Wow.
Well, you could call me a gated community because we do have a front gate.
There you go.
Yeah, and then they have nice area here, and they have a nice. So they just ended right now, but they have a farmers market and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's nice area.
So it's dark already out there, right?
We're under a bunch of trees too. So
I see. Yeah. Okay, because I was thinking, gee, a few minutes ago I was seeing palm trees above you.
Yeah, and blue sky.
Blue skies. There we go. Yeah. Okay. It's probably getting towards sunset now. They've got the street lights on. You know.
Yeah. So it's really, and then there's Valley Fair Mall that is right across the street. And that one they've redone, so you have Gucci and Chanel and Dolce & Gabbana. You have all the high-end stores
There's an
over
Apple
there.
store in it. Yep.
Yeah, Apple store that is right in the front, so you can get the crash and grab. Get what you want and stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you a question. What car are you driving?
It's quiet, so it's the Cadillac.
It's the Cadillac. Yeah. Oh, you mean it's your rental? She doesn't know it's a rental, does she?
No,
it's a rental. Your real car is a Toyota.
She doesn't know the McLaren's a rental either. Okay, so don't tell her.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these are, guys in Silicon Valley really are into buying cars. Am I right? Plain and simple.
And this place, so they have a big hotel here, and they have a big bar in the hotel, and they have like a wine thing up on top, all this stuff at this place. So Messi, the soccer player, he was just here like a few weeks ago. They played, so he stayed here. So the crowds were crazy, and so it's really popular place. So, but yeah, it's a really nice area. Just
well, how does he work if he's a Messi soccer player?
Messi soccer, yeah, he's one of the best. Yeah.
Well,
it's like walking through Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Yes, like 2 blocks of about 5 blocks of Beverly Hills.
Absolutely.
And then they have apartments where her area is, all the apartments. They have another apartment set over here. They have big pools, so like there's barbecues every night. Everybody, yeah. So, yeah.
So is it expensive, that area to live in?
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at the 2 bedrooms, and it was almost $5,000 a month.
2-bedroom, $5,000. That's
with,
cheap.
yeah.
That's cheap here in New York. For $5,000, you're going to get a 1-bedroom. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sure it's more expensive.
And you know what you get for $550 a month?
Yeah.
A 10-room apartment.
There you go. And there's only one tenant in the city of New York that gets that discount.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I would say I'm probably the cheapest apartment in Manhattan.
Probably.
I don't think I can argue anything else. I would like somebody to present me with a,
Well, they got these like stairwells that people are paying $1,000 a month to live in Manhattan.
Stairwells.
Stairwells. There was a video where a guy went and looked at, how people were living in the tiniest apartment or something like that. It
Oh
was
yeah, well I
called-
know that guy. I've seen that guy's video.
Right. And
Yeah.
I mean, the guys are like, the guy's got his bike hanging on the wall, a refrigerator hanging on. I mean, like, I don't know.
Well, no, you can get really small apartments, and I think they're still more than $500 a month, $550 a month. They're like
Yeah.
$700, and they're
Yeah.
really tiny. They're really tiny.
Yeah.
They're like
150 square feet. Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
Something
Maybe
like that,
less.
yeah.
Maybe like 75 square feet, something like that.
I'm going to go see my son's place in Brooklyn this week,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll check it out. I hear it's pretty small, but
Really?
yeah,
How much is he paying for it? Do you know?
I don't know, but more than you'd expect, more than you're paying, that's for sure.
Well, you
Yeah,
know,
that's-
we've got a mayoral race going on here in New York City, and what all the mayoral candidates are, their thing is, I'm going to lower the price of rentals. In
Yeah.
rent-controlled apartments, rent-stabilized apartments,
Okay.
and that's their big thing. To try and get elected. Of course, they won't do anything about it once they get elected. They'll find out it's impossible to do. But that's the biggest claim they're making to try and get everybody's vote. It's amazing. Just amazing.
Look at that. Doesn't that remind you of Miami when you were in Miami, Alex?
What?
The palm trees and the walking down the street.
Well, a lot of places in California now have palm trees.
They do.
They,
Where I live, they get them all over the place in the city.
yeah, well, they're not expensive particularly, and you can buy a bunch of them and they just plug them right in the in the
They
sidewalk.
don't need much water and they make a mess.
But they don't make a
They
mess.
shed their whatever you call it.
They're pretty. They're not. But you never saw any in San Francisco till a few years ago, and then along the Embarcadero.
Yep.
They
Well,
put 'em
along
up.
Market Street too, when they thought that it was gonna, get nice around there.
Really?
I think the palm trees are still on Market
The
Street.
only time I remember Market Street in San Francisco being nice is when I was a kid.
But that was
Okay.
before they dug it up for Bart, huh?
No, that was when my mother used to go down there shopping, and I used to go with her.
My
Used to go down.
parents would go down there when they were digging up Market Street to put Bart in it. I remember that as a
Bart
kid.
on Market Street? Really?
There's stations there, Civic Center station.
I didn't know that. See?
Several stations are along Market.
I moved back there. I think they were in pretty good shape at that point. They'd suddenly gotten, what's the word I'm looking for? What am I looking for here? I'm forgetting what I was saying. Well, thank you very much. I mean, it was. They had a lot of those things going on at that time. I remember they put in those self-cleaning toilets. Do you remember those? They
yeah.
got them from
Yeah,
France.
Really? Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
You'd put a token in it. Yeah, the homeless.
You put a token in it, and then you would go in and you would do whatever you got to do. And then when you left, it would close up and it would self-wash itself.
Yes, yes.
And then the next person could go in and use it.
I think you got. I haven't seen one in a while, but I've seen the homeless people go in there with a pocket full of tokens, and they're shooting up and everything. Every time the door opens, they put another token in so it doesn't do itself.
Yeah, but every time a certain amount of time passes, they flush out the inside. And
well,
if-
the door opens. And
I
so
had
if you're
somebody,
sitting there-
I had my friend Chuck Farnham do a stunt for the show where he went in, paid to go into it, to the self-cleaning toilet, and then he would pretend like he was using the toilet, and then the door would open because his time was up, but he didn't leave. And then he stayed in there for, and got all showered up,
Oh, yeah.
And the next time we had him do it, we had him go in with soap. So he could lather up.
That's funny.
But that was the big thing, were those toilets.
Yeah, I mean, walking down Santana Row like Brian is,
Yeah.
there it reminds me of when I would walk down in Beverly Hills and stuff like that. It's just fancy shop after there's probably more high-end fancy shops in Beverly Hills, but Santana Row is no slouch.
So, Brian, where are you right now?
Yeah, Valley Fair's Santana Row, like in the middle.
Yeah.
But then they have across the street is Valley Fair, so they have Bloomingdale's and all those type of stores over there. But they have Chanel and, like I said, all the big high-end stores over there now. So it's like a really, really popular area.
And an Apple
Some
store.
big restaurants.
And an Apple store, right?
And an Apple store.
Yeah, gotta have an Apple store.
There you go.
And a Lululemon.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have Lululemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go eat there?
No, we ate at that event, so we're just gonna go have a drink and then just gossip.
And gossip?
Yeah, just talk. Yeah.
Oh.
Is that what you call it nowadays?
Yeah, just hang out for a drink. Yep. Nice Wednesday night.
Oh, that's really nice. Oh, here's Jay.
Oh, and here's a Tesla. There's Tesla over here too.
Oh, really?
I mean, they're like all
That's the
over
one
place.
they protest. So Jessica and I will go get coffee over here, and there's like a row of protesters with no Trump and no Elon, picket signs and everything else. Pretty funny.
Here's somebody who wants to come on called G. John.
Oh boy.
There you go.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust it, would I? I can actually put my picture on here, my video, and then I can bring them on and see what happens. Let me see. Let me admit it.
Jessica, you want to see something funny? Watch.
No, no. There we go. There's G. John, and
it is somebody.
let's see here.
Yeah, but it's gonna change.
It's gonna change. It's gonna change. Yeah.
It's gonna change. What's up?
Remove.
Here we go.
Did I get it before he did it?
Yeah, you got him off. I don't know if he was getting off or what, but yeah, it's
I
off.
didn't.
Okay. Well,
He just sent a note. He just sent a note in the chat, and he said he was really hot for Jeff.
Oh, thank you.
Oh God. Okay. Good night, guys.
wait,
Bye.
are you guys? Wait a minute. Let me go here and get this here, and you can wave goodbye. Wave goodbye, Brian.
Oh, goodbye.
And goodbye to your
Bye.
friend, by the way. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Yeah, that's Brian and friend.
Yep.
This is
Yeah,
Brian.
it's. I didn't realize that he was in the market so quickly for a girlfriend. Was I?
It's been over a year. Give me a break.
Well, I
It has been over a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I guess I didn't realize he was going to live right in San Jose. A friend of mine she's like 41, 42. She's a female San Jose police officer, and she's Vietnamese, and she's single. I was going to fix them up. I've got pictures of her at the gun range, and I was going to send it to Brian. Say, is this your type? Yep. She works. She only makes $200,000 a year.
Only $200,000 a year.
Cops get paid outrageous money in the
Really?
Bay Area.
Is it that kind of money to be a cop now?
Yeah, starting just while you're in the academy, you're making $150,000. So
What?
Yep.
What police department is this?
All of them. Campbell Police is looking for cops. San Francisco, a lot of the departments in the Bay Area are looking for cops, and they got all these signing bonuses. If you're with us after you get off probation, you get an extra $10,000, and in school credit you get $5,000, and then this and that. And I mean, it's crazy.
Really? Son of a bitch! I guess I got in the wrong business, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Trump will take care of that. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, he's pro police.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of benefits too, right? I mean,
there are good benefits. Good benefits, dental, medical for you and your family in most places, and you get good retirement. It's called 3% at 30, the retirement system in California, and you get 3% for every year that you were there. So if you were there for 30 years, you'll get 90% pay without a lot of things that are taken out of it while you are working, and so it equals out to about 100% of your pay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did that guy get any of the dirty stuff on at all? Because I had my face up, so he couldn't.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Didn't see it.
Yeah.
Me either.
Oh,
We were hoping it would liven up the show a little bit.
well, we could liven up the show and talk about Trump.
No,
Oh God.
no. Did you go outside today? It was a beautiful day.
Yeah, I took a walk
All right.
today. Barely made it, but I walked.
It was the
Take
best
your crutch
day
with
I've
you, your cane.
Yep.
Yep.
Never go anywhere without it. But it was also hot today too, so it was a little difficult to to walk.
How close in mileage are you to Jeff? I know he's in Connecticut, but how close in mileage you separation?
What are we, Jeff? You drive it because you guys come in.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, it takes about an hour and a half when it's like a normal place you can get in, not
Okay.
when the city's going in.
In other words, if you came to see us, how many miles is it, do you figure?
50 miles,
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You
Alex, I got to sign off because I just realized I have a meeting and it's not close to me. I've got to walk to it. So it's going to be.
Stop for sushi.
All right.
Bye.
So
So
stop for sushi. Bye-bye.
talk to you later.
nice
Bye
one.
bye.
Bye, Bree.
Boy. Now we're down to almost nobody. We could end this show early, couldn't we?
Yeah.
And then we can let Amy try and figure out why I'm not here. But
I thought you had somebody who was about to get on, a lady.
a lady was about to get
Yeah,
on. No,
at the beginning. Oh, maybe it was
no,
bad
no,
information.
no.
That was Brian's girlfriend.
Yeah, that was just.
Probably what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
You have a name for her?
Well, he introduced her as Jessica.
Did he say Jessica?
I thought
Yeah.
Jessica was his ex-girlfriend.
No.
Tiffany was his ex's
Oh,
name.
okay. Who's Jessica then?
I don't know. Would you, the name Tiffany, I wouldn't mind going out with a woman named Tiffany. She was intelligent and I was attracted to her and so on. But I don't think I'd tell my friends about her because I wouldn't want to say I have a girlfriend named Tiffany.
What's wrong with Tiffany?
Huh?
Nothing. I mean, there are a lot of handbags made at Tiffany's.
Yeah. Breakfast at Tiffany's.
This is right on the corner from Trump Tower.
Right.
It hurt their business a lot.
Really.
Yeah, absolutely. What did I see about Trump tonight? Oh, God, every time my watch goes off and it says breaking news, it's another Trump thing.
Yeah.
And it's getting tiresome.
Yeah.
And, I tried to get on some of these newscasts that I got and tried to block anything about the president, but that isn't an option.
Well, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to avoid him.
Yep.
Even tonight. I mean, like, for instance, I was watching The Daily Show, and they were going off on the whole thing with Elon Musk and how he went and called the big, beautiful bill horrible.
Yeah, the romance is over with.
Well, I don't know.
Yep.
Does this mean the romance is over with, or he just doesn't agree with the bill?
I don't know. Are they running ads on the radio there like they are here? That they're saying that if you're illegally here, that you should leave because we will find you and arrest you and charge you.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff?
with Christy No.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we have those here, yeah.
God, what a waste of radio space. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, no, think of it this way. What a waste of taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's paying for that? You and me.
Yeah, I guess we are, huh?
The reason that Musk doesn't like the big, beautiful bill, because it ends the tax credit for electric vehicles at the end of this year. And that hurts Musk, because that's how he sells a lot of Teslas.
Yeah, well, they're not selling right now.
I know, but they're not gonna sell you. They're gonna sell even less if you don't get that.
Well, years ago,
$7,500 tax credit.
when Musk started Tesla and got Teslas on the road, there was really very little of anything else. Okay, when it came to electric cars, but now there are all kinds of options.
Yeah.
So what's the deal? So he's coming back. He pissed everybody off. So now he's coming back to a market that, quite frankly, doesn't need him.
Doesn't want them.
You're talking about Trump.
I mean, if I want to buy an electric car, what choices do I have? Lots.
Yeah. Not getting a Tesla, that's for sure.
And I hear some of them are better.
Yep.
But I just wonder whether Musk is going to last this out. He's lost almost $100 billion.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if in a while he's going to be really down in the dumps and everybody will go, whatever happened to Elon Musk?
Not going to be number one anymore.
Yep.
Well, I hope that SpaceX continues and that he, probably divests himself of being part of it, saying, hey, I don't need this, and I can't do this anymore, and he sells it to somebody else, and all the people that are there will still be there doing really what is some pretty damn good work, but we don't have to put up with Musk running it. I mean, I don't think Musk is that much of a genius when it comes to space travel.
No.
What do you think, Charlie? You're the big space guy.
Well, no, he has hired people that are the geniuses.
Yeah, but But he knew what he was doing, though, is what you're saying.
Well, he knew that better than to try and do it himself.
Well, yeah. I mean, what does he know about creating a rocket? Nothing.
Yep. Well, he's not an engineer.
Where did he get all his people from? NASA?
I don't know. I assume he got some there, but maybe he scoured the universities and got the best engineers.
Well, there must have been a pool out there of people who were very competent, and he knew well enough how to hire them. So.
Yeah.
A lot of electronics companies do what Charlie just said. They go out to the universities when the seniors are getting ready to graduate, and they pick up engineers that way, or doctors, or whatever they're looking for.
Well, picking up people who do this kind of science, I mean, even Charlie will say, it's an art. It's a real scientific art, and
you need to know what you're doing.
Yes,
you got to know what you're doing.
You need to know what you're doing. Yes.
So, do we have to give Trump his props for knowing how to hire the right people?
Trump doesn't do that.
The right people yet? He hasn't.
What?
He hasn't hired any of the right people yet.
What did you say, Charlie?
I said Trump's not the one that's hiring the right people. He's hiring all idiots.
Did I say Trump?
You did.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant Musk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he must be smart enough to hire the right people, because they're building rockets and cars and boring machines that are supposed to make these for super trains and underground, and all these high-speed rail, and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. What is there something wrong with your eyes tonight?
Yeah, I have dry skin and my eyelids dry out, and so I just put Vaseline on them. She works.
Well, it's getting to be that time of night. Do you have any problems out there with pollen right now?
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, we had this morning. I woke up this morning feeling like I had my chest was kind of hurting a little bit. My breathing was a little heavy. And then I turn on I look at my, I have to say it quietly, my Echo. And I said, it was saying there was terrible air quality here because of the fires in Canada.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it wasn't like we had a couple of years ago where the whole sky turned orange. But it was bad enough to give me a little agita in my chest. And as the day
Yeah.
went on, and it cleared up, so
They're expecting the fires to get much worse. So
yeah, well,
Oh boy.
it's coming down from Canada, you know.
that Trump will probably put a tariff on them just for that.
Put a tariff on the fires,
Right.
you know. Well, I hear about a lot of people saying that they're in trouble. Their companies are in trouble because of the tariffs, and why Trump feels this is a wonderful idea. This is going to bring back business. America's coming back. Did you know that?
No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Nope.
Well, I wish it were true, but it's not true.
Somebody was really talking about aluminum. And they said, oh, now you got to produce a lot more aluminum. I said, well, they're already using aluminum and producing it in the United States, except they're full up as far as their capabilities. To add substantial increases, it would take them 3 years to get a new factory
Yeah.
to produce aluminum.
Well, I mean, if he thinks that that's going to be, that it's going to be a wonderful thing, he's
I don't think he knows
he's
about
wrong.
that.
He's just wrong.
I don't think he knows anything.
I mean, the idea that you can suddenly tomorrow ramp up steel production in this country,
It's the same.
it's impossible. It's impossible. I mean,
He has screwed up the economy so bad.
well, it won't happen in his presidency that any of
No.
those will come to pass.
We'll be lucky. Any one of the four of us will be lucky to still be alive by the
Yeah.
time the economy straightens out again.
Well, the economy, part of the economy is straightened out. The what do you call it?
The part
Well,
that he ruined.
well, no, the stocks are okay, getting better.
They're getting better.
They're almost back to where they were. I know I looked at mine today, and I'm actually making more money than I was making.
Now my portfolio is within $1,000 of the all-time high.
Yeah,
I've been
so it's
investing in
that's doing okay, but that isn't the sum all of everything. We
Nope.
got to think about the small guy. He's got a store, and he's got to buy goods and services for that store, and he can't afford to get them because the tariffs are too high.
Or the small guy that's got to buy food and can't afford it. 'Cause
Yeah.
So
Well, I went to the grocery store today, and I used to walk out of my grocery store $35 maybe. Today I bought even less than I normally bought, and it came out to $60. And I'm going, okay, well, I can afford it, but gee, what about the poor person who can't afford it?
that's right.
It's terrible. It is just terrible. And to me, the job of any country, the country only has one job, and that job is to keep its citizens safe and away from harm. And he's not doing any of that. Okay? It's like he doesn't care about you and me and how well we feel and so on. So, I don't know. Anyway, let me hit the theme here. And we were left with 4 people. But that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
3 Jews and a Gentile.
The 3 Jews and a Gentile. You're right. I didn't stop to think about that. Maybe we should rename the show, huh? Well, the Gentile happens to be Charlie, who has a T-shirt that says what? Resistance is futile.
Yeah.
It's not futile.
Is not futile.
It's voltage divided by current.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you so much, Alan, for being here with us today. I appreciate it. And, of course, we thank Jeff for being here as well. Maybe you should give a wave goodbye, and I'll give a wave goodbye at you. Okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Up next is Amy Manuel. She's going to be here with the intersection, and she'll be taking your calls on Zoom. You simply go to gabnet.net, and at the bottom of the 3rd column, there says Alex Bennett, and it says Amy Manuel. You click on Amy Manuel, and that will take you over to her. and allow you to be a participant in her citizen panel. Meanwhile, I'll see you again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.